Chapter 4. World after Second World War. First, Cold War. Second World War ended in August 1945. Near about 1.5 crore soldiers were killed during the war, which lasted for 6 years. Wounded soldiers were in large scale. Due to the World War, thousands of cities and industrial centers were destroyed. Great economic loss had taken place. In this war, America, England, France, Russia, these allied nations defeated Germany, Italy, and Japan, the enemy nations. Due to this world war, unemployment, unhygienic conditions arose. Everywhere there was scarcity of commodities. Human life was totally ruined because of so many problems created after the World War. It also caused the same to the victorious nations. The condition of America participated in the war was different. The human life in America was not affected because war was not fought on the land of America. America supplied the essential things to the nations which participated in the war. The nations participated in the World War greatly affected in their economy, but at the same time, America became strong in its economic system. In these countries, Russia's condition was somewhat different. Russia used the scorched earth policy and broke Nazi Germany's chain of continuous victory. Russia gained importance in international politics because of Hitler's defeat by Russia. In order to increase its importance, America encouraged capitalism and democracy. This led to Cold War between America and Russia. Cold War meaning. Devastating Second World War came to an end. After the World War, Russia and America, the two superpowers, had differences because of the problem of reconstruction. Rational war started. The difference in philosophy, political disbelief, diplomacy with each other, competition in weapons, spy, poisonous canvassing of media were living forms of Cold War. Russia wanted to put communism world of dream into reality, but America wanted to keep away the world from the wave of communism and to protect democracy and capitalism. Both the superpowers thrashed them in the world power competition. Day by day, power competition became intense. Warlike conditions were created by Cold War. The tense condition at the international level between America and Russia is called Cold War. The word Cold War was used for the first time by the American diplomat Bernard Baruch while explaining the world tense situation. Professor Walter Lippmann used the word Cold War frequently while describing the conflict between Western power and Soviet Russia. He had also called it Mirage War. Professor Young Hum Kim said about the Cold War, Cold War means the world of free economy and communism. It also means it is a tense and conflict between America and Russia. Really, Cold War is nothing but a political war. There was no direct war between two superpowers, that is, Russia and America. But the very tense competition between them caused small wars in so many countries in the world. Both the countries interfered by military forces and ammunition to create their influence. To weaken each other, they created the fearful situation. America had dropped atom bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki and proved that it was the superpower. Russia proved its mightiness by nuclear test. In short, the Cold War between these two superpowers means no war and no peace. Cold War means the war fought in peaceful period without weapons. Causes of Cold War. First, supremacy between America and Russia, the superpowers. There were no other powers which could influence the international politics other than America and Russia after the Second World War. In this World War, England, France, Germany, Italy were destroyed greatly, and Japan was devastated because of atom bomb. Progress of Cold War. Due to Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, workers, laborers, communist rule created new kind of government which was expected by Karl Marx. Through this new kind of governing, they kept new program of social and economical development in front of the world. Capitalists did not like the establishment of communism. Due to different ideologies, conflicts started. Berlin's blockade and division of Germany. The Western countries tried to make Bolshevik revolution unsuccessful before the Second World War. Hitler, who opposed communism, was also followed by others. So, Russia was very upset. Russia blockaded Berlin in 1948. It resulted in creation of Federal Republic of Germany by America, Britain, and France in the Western Germany region under their rule. In reply, the Russian created German Democratic Republic in the part of East Germany. Russian President Khrushchev's visit to America. Russian President Nikita Khrushchev visited America in September 1959. At this time, a discussion with Eisenhower decided to call the summit in June 1960 of the countries America, Russia, Britain and France in Paris. This reduced the international tension. Nuclear test of Russia. After the death of Stalin in March 1953, Nikita Khrushchev became the president of Russia. In America, Truman was replaced by Eisenhower as a president at the same time. Conflict between these countries increased during this period. Russia had nuclear test in 1953. Therefore, the Cold War between Russia and America worsened. Both the countries had a great space competition. Second, communism in Russia. The influence of Cold War was realized after Second World War. The emergence of Cold War was seen during the Revolution of Russia in 1917. Bolshevik Revolution gave birth to communist rule of Karl Marx. Communism and capitalism are two complete opposite ideologies. Therefore, America and Western European countries felt that Russian communism was the greatest hindrance in the capitalist economy. Their enmity increased. Fourth, Russia disobeyed the Yalta and Balkan Treaty. Yalta Treaty took place among the heads of America, Roosevelt, Russia, Stalin, and Great Britain, Churchill, in Feb 1945 at the end of the Second World War. According to this peace treaty, open elections in Poland, etc. were accepted. But Stalin broke the conditions and got power over Poland. Stalin accepted Balkan Treaty with Churchill in October 1944, about division of Eastern Europe. According to this treaty, England would empower Balkan nations as Russia. But Stalin neglected this treaty and created workers' dictatorship in Romania, Greece, Hungary, and Yugoslavia. Thus, England was upset. Fifth, poisonous canvassing of media. The capitalist and communist countries started poisonous canvassing against each other through newspapers, radio, and television. Stanley decided to spread communism all over the world. But America's President Truman and England's Prime Minister Churchill decided to uproot communism. In the speech at Fulton, Churchill spoke, "We have to fight against wild Russia." In short, jealousy started to grow against each other due to this poisonous canvassing and media. Sixth, arm race. To stop Russia's communism in Asia and Europe continent, America has started an alliance of NATO, SEATO, and CENTO to get their support. At the same time, Russia and its alliance got together because of Warsaw Treaty. As a result, Cold War became severe. NATO Treaty. America and its alliance came together by NATO Treaty. America planned one scheme as a part of defense against Russia. The representatives of 12 countries, America, Canada, England, France, Italy, Belgium, Denmark, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, and Ireland came together in Washington. Here, they had an exchange of thoughts and founded North Atlantic Treaty Organization, means NATO Treaty, on 4th April 1949. NATO Treaty was formulated on the basis of defense and economical policy. In future, Greece, Turkey, and West Germany joined NATO Treaty. The spread of communism of Russia was restricted. This treaty aimed at the ruin of Russia. SEATO Treaty. America created SEATO Treaty to control communism and its spread in South Asia and Central East Asia, as it wanted to stop the highly populated China from expanding communism and creating influence on Myanmar, which is Burma, Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam. America had a close relationship with Philippines and Pakistan. America proposed the scheme to protect the Southeast Asia in the capital of Philippines, that is, Manila. 8 countries were present, that is, America, England, France, Australia, New Zealand, Pakistan, Philippines, and Thailand in the conference held at Manila. In this conference, on the basis of protection, SEATO Treaty was founded on 8 September 1954. SEATO Treaty gave top priority to the principles of collective protection. The member nations increased their strength as SEATO's stand was of military force policy. Warsaw Treaty. As a reply to America's NATO Treaty, Russia founded Warsaw Treaty, Organization of Communist Countries. To give the befitting reply to capitalist countries was the main objective of the Warsaw Treaty. During the period 11th to 14th May 1955, the 8 Nations Conference was held at the capital of Poland, Warsaw. the countries Russia, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Albania, Bulgaria, East Germany, Romania, and Poland participated. The Treaty of Friendship, Cooperation and Help took place. Stress was given on collective protection to form the combined armed force. Nuclear power and ammunitions were prohibited. The economical and cultural relationship should be developed. These points were decided. Russia got supremacy as it was supported by China and North Korea, who were not participating in the Warsaw Treaty. The entire world was divided into two groups. First, America's group. Second, Russians' group. Because of this partition, the Cold War became severe. Eisenhower Theory. America implemented the program of economical reform through Marshall Scheme successfully. Britain and France got retreated from the Suez Canal area. So the political support in Central East part became weak. There was no power in this area. Russia took advantage of this situation and brought its naval force on the bank of Syria. America took this event seriously and decided to strengthen the armed force of Central East and to raise new naval force. For this, Eisenhower declared Eisenhower Theory. According to this theory, the American Parliament had given important rights to American President. According to this theory, freedom of Central East part should be protected to make the economical conditions strong, provide military help and cooperation. In the event of any communist country attacking Central East Europe, America would support by providing military help. These rights were given to the American president for using the armed forces and weapons. This intensified the Cold War greatly. The rise of Communist China. Communist Republic was founded under the leadership of Mao Zedong on 1st October 1949. Due to the rise of Communist China, Russia became powerful. America strongly opposed permanent membership of Communist China on Security Council of UNO. And this resulted in bitter relationship between America and Russia. But in October 1971, China had been awarded permanent membership of Security Council. Third, differences in philosophical thinking. After Industrial Revolution in Europe, industry-oriented culture came into existence. So, capitalist and worker were the important factors in economy. In capitalism, raw materials, factories, trade, and habitations were concentrated. Karl Marx was the great communist thinker. Das Kapital and Communist Manifesto were his famous books. In these great books, he presented ideology of communism very studiously. He made the workers aware of the world and about the negative side of capitalism. While telling the philosophy of communism, Karl Marx said, "Workers, laborers, and the deprived should come together and destroy completely the feudalism, capitalism, and private property. Workers should take power in their hands and make the tools for the nation only. The communism will come into reality when equality will be in the society and the rule of the society will be created." Communist revolution took place in Russia under the leadership of Lenin. America and Western powers were of the opinion of free economy, so that they felt that communism was not of their use. So they were against the communism, and this opposition caused the spread of Cold War. U-2 incident and increase in Cold War. While preparing for Paris summit, the spy airplane of America was attacked by Russia in its area. Due to the spying activity of America, Russia got upset. Russia charged America that it was a sort of disturbance in peace. But America justified it by telling that they wanted to know the Russian secret of armed forces. The Paris summit ended on 16th May 1960. In this summit, Russia condemned America by raising the issue of U-2 aeroplane. Due to the failure of summit, the Cold War became more severe. Effects of Cold War. After the Second World War, the Cold War among America, Russia, and their alliance greatly affected the international issues. First, the world divided into two groups. Beginning of Cold War was thought-provoking. It was a war between communism against capitalism and democracy. Russia was leading in communism. America was leading in capitalism and democracy. The power game started. The world was divided between Russia and America. Competition for power became extreme between America and Russia. Second, growth in weapons competition. The superpower of Russia and America was based on weapons only. Both the countries tried to make their supporting countries strong in different sections of forces. Army, Navy, and Air Force became powerful. The able administrative system was implemented. Modern missiles, fighter planes, nuclear weapons, and submarines were produced. The tedious competition in weapons was immense. This was the effect of Cold War. Third, an inspiration to nuclear weapons competition. In the Second World War, America destroyed Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the cities of Japan, by dropping nuclear bombs on them. Russia also proved its capacity by performing the nuclear test. Both the countries produced weapons on a large scale. Because of the Cold War, the competition in the weapons got motivated, and the world was on the verge of ruining. Fourth, discredit of UNO. UNO got success in creating peace and protection in the world. UNO put forth an idea of one world. Both the competition for power, nuclear weapons, the partition of the world created many problems for UNO. The Security Council failed to solve the problems faced by UNO due to the veto power of powerful nations. The entire world is one family. UNO didn't achieve its goal. It was discredit of UNO. Fifth, human welfare was neglected. Fear and terror was created by Cold War in the world. It motivated the competition of weapons. Huge amount of money was spent on the weapons. Development was neglected. 25% of income spent on weapons and its research. Production of commodities was neglected. It resulted in scarcity of commodities. It affected the life of people very badly. Due to the Cold War, welfare of man was totally neglected. Sixth, the growth of non-aligned movement. Many of the countries unwillingly participated in the group of superpowers because of the political and economical pressure. But India's Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Yugoslavia's President, Marshal Tito, and Egypt's President, General Gamal Abdul Nasser, dared not to mix in any group. These prime countries started non-aligned movement. Day by day, this movement became very strong. The superpowers took note of it and reduced the intensity of Cold War. Today, there is no such tension created after the Second World War, and in the different parts of the world, tension is brought under control. Today, if the war takes place, the advanced weapons and techniques of war would ruin the world. The entire mankind should shoulder the responsibility to avoid the war. International understanding and cooperation can do it. Independent India has always supported this policy. In non-aligned movement, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's contribution was a remarkable one. The end of Cold War. Unexpectedly, the history of the world changed in the year 1989. The Wall of Berlin, which divided East and West Germany, was demolished, and East and West Germany became one. Warsaw Treaty came to an end. The communist power of East Europe ended. The President of Russia, Mr. Gorbachev, took lead and called off the Cold War. Due to this good relationship established between America and Russia, Mikhail Gorbachev and Ronald Reagan suggested that every country in the world cut off the military power and end the Cold War.